In this video, we're going to talk about the difference between being a sole proprietor and being incorporated. And specifically, what are the details of the different kinds of companies you should be, and why being a sole proprietor may never serve you. So in this video, we're going to talk about 4 things. Number 1, why being a sole proprietor is probably going to get you audited 3 times more likely. We're going to talk about the difference between a corporation and an LLC. There is a difference. We're going to talk about all the fabulous tax strategies that you get to use at the different company levels. And last, we're going to talk about why an integrated team will help you use these entities to their fullest benefit. So let's begin. Number 1, a sole proprietor. It's you, it's your social security number. It's just not a great vehicle. And the financial institutes actually don't recognize you as anything different. You're just like one person. So even though you say you're making the money, your tax return might have like a 1-page Schedule C. It's not beneficial to you. Worse than that, you have no asset protection. So if anyone trips or falls or gets injured by a nutrition product or even a recipe, any advice you say, they can sue you, which means they're going to sue your sole proprietor. You have no protection coming straight through. And if you have a private like home or a second home, any assets, they're coming for it. So it's crazy to be a sole proprietor. I can't think of any reason ever. When your kids turn 18, get an entity. An LLC is an easy one. But let's talk about that. As a more mature adult, depending on the state that you're in, and we'll do an assessment with you. I have an amazing team that does an assessment. Corporations are different, right? Especially a C corporation. A C corporation is what we call the mothership. It is the big company that's got a completely different tax year end. It's not even associated to you. An S corp, an LLC, and a limited partnership is what's called a pass-through, which means the profit and loss all comes through to a personal tax return. If you're super strategic, which we have super strategic people and use them on a team, you want to use a tax strategist. You're not going to use like the H&R Blocks or these like simpleton little companies. Those are for the people who just have jobs and want a 1040 easy and a simple return. You're doing this because you want to think and act and make money the way the wealthy do. So the way that we do it is we make our money inside companies. So the company makes money, the individual gets taxed. So I'm not sure what state you're in. You can comment below. We can have people like reach out and do an assessment with you. Really important you subscribe. Subscribe right now to my channel so we can stay in touch and I can help support you on any further decision making that you're going to be doing. Now, one thing to do is don't do it on the cheap. There's all sorts of simple, cheap ways to get these entities done. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about a team. The guy who does it for me and the guy will do it for you. He makes sure you're corporate compliance. And by the way, if you're watching and you have an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp or a limited partnership or in other parts of the world, whatever your company is, and you haven't done your annual minutes, your shareholder meetings, all your resolutions, you're not in compliance. You could be in default of that entity. So we do all of that, meaning we set up your company, we make sure you stay compliant, we do annual reviews with you. And some of you listening go, oh my gosh, that's just so much, like it's just too much. It's not too much, like when you really think about the tax benefits. And remember, you're doing this for a lifetime. This isn't a program or a thing that I talk about. It's a lifestyle. You want to know, again, how wealthy people live. We live in corporate structure. So your companies make money. You have a legal right for them to make money. You go on legal business trips. You have legal deductions. A C Corp are for those of you who are making well into 6 figures. So you're at that $250,000 to $500,000 mark. A C Corp allows you a multiple corporate strategy. That's where you have a different tax year end and you have way higher strategies to reduce your overall tax basis. So again, sole proprietor versus entities and describing the differences. So those are some of the very distinct differences. I have a C Corp. A lot of our clients have C Corps. A lot of our clients have S's and LLCs. You say, well, how did they get there? They grow into them. Let's just start simple. Those of you who are sole proprietors, let's do a quick assessment, find out what state are you in, how do you make money, what's all the components of how you make money, and what's the best entity for you that you're going to want to keep really for generations. That's really the ultimate goal. Now, back to the tax deductions, because that's my favorite thing. Like, let's go to the other side and say, what is it that you can't deduct? Now, I get a lot of heat for this because, people say, well, are you a tax specialist? No, I've been doing it for 25 years. I've been around. So you say, well, what can't I deduct? Well, you can't deduct like the core part of your home. You can deduct your home office. You have to have transportation personally, but you can deduct a large part of your vehicle, your computer, your phone. You can deduct all those things. By the way, there's all sorts of little nuances, like dry cleaning. As long as you put your clothes into the dry cleaner within 24 hours, they're deductible by business. You ladies, you want like hair and wardrobe, those can be tax deductible depending on what you do. Animals, depending on how your animals are part of your business. We've had horses, dogs, cats, all sorts of animals written off as part of a business expense. There are so many things that I cannot wait to teach you. But you have to decide, are you going to stay a sole proprietor? No. Or are you going to get incorporated? Yes. So let me tell you a story about someone who didn't do any of it right. Was really a sole proprietor, had met an older gentleman, and they started doing some real estate together. The older gentleman was very, very well refined in his corporate structure at S Corp, C Corps, LLCs, and just told my client, hey, we're just going to be partners. None of it was documented. He was never signed into the entities legally. So when the gentleman passed, guess what happened? It all went to probate. So he had to fight the state to get all of that back, which took months and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So there are so many like paperwork things. In fact, in our community, we say, do paperwork or be poor. So you don't have to do the paperwork. Other people will do it for you. Bookkeepers will do it for you. Corporate compliance officers will do it, but you got to have it done. Absolutely have to have it done. Being a sole proprietor, I believe, puts most of your personal life, your personal home at risk. Don't be those people. So what I'd like to invite you to do is take a quiz. I have a beautiful quiz. It's called my Financial Personality Quiz. And inside of that, you're going to see where you are. And I'll just give you a hint. Whether you have stagnant, cash flow, whether you're overpaying taxes is probably your corporate structure is not right. If you got lifestyle issues, again, you're probably not doing enough deductions. So everything in my quiz is going to link back to the conversation we just had and why you need to be incorporated. You can tell I am a massive fan. At 18 years old, my son got an entity. Guess what my daughter's going to get when she turns 18? An entity. That's how important it is for them and their life and their future. So click on the link below, take the quiz. And by the way, if you have kids in their late teens and early 20s, have them take it too. What a great conversation starter for a new conversation about money in your household.